Okay, so should I just tell him?
Come on, hang out for a second. Oh, could you just come out and hang out? Just so I can get a wider shot. You don't have to start yet.
There's other stations here, right? Okay. Okay, thanks. I'm gonna tell him. Yeah, you can go. They're at another press conference, so.
Okay.
Well, good morning, everybody, and thank you for coming. My name is Sergeant Jason Robillard. I'm a Media Relations Officer with the Vancouver Police. I'm here today to give you an update on a phone scam that has been targeting elderlies in our community. Vancouver Police are warning the public after local seniors were defrauded out of $3.1 million in 5 separate cases. In 2 of the cases, VPD investigators were able to recover just over $2.5 million of the stolen money. In each case, a fraudster called an elderly person on a landline and pretended to be either an employee of a jewelry store or a police officer. The elderly person was convinced that their credit card had been used fraudulently for large purchase or that police required their assistance in an investigation. They were then advised to hang up their phone and call 911 or the bank. The victims did what they were supposed to, or did what they were told to, picked up the phone, heard a dial tone, and dialed either the bank or 911. However, the suspects never disconnected the line, and it is believed that they actually played a dial tone recording before answering and pretending to be either a police officer or a call taker at a police department or a bank representative. After a series of back and forth calls, the victims, still thinking the fraudsters were either a police officer or a bank representative, were convinced to transfer large amounts of money to specific accounts overseas. In these situations, awareness is the key to phone scams like this one. When you use a hardline, we want you to know that this is possible. There is an opportunity for someone to still be on the other line. We want you to consider using a cell phone or to make sure that you are disconnected after you use a hardline. The investigation into these frauds is ongoing. Our investigators believe there may be additional victims out there who have not reported the fraud, and we're asking those individuals to call Vancouver Police at 604-717-0503. Anyone outside of Vancouver is encouraged to call your local police department. Open to any questions that you have regarding this.
Do you believe there could be more victims?
We do believe that, and you know the reason we say that is that in any fraud, they do go underreported simply because people are embarrassed that they've lost money. So we want you to know that call us so we can help you.
Were the fraudsters here in Vancouver?
It's still under investigation. We're not sure. There's been no arrest made.
Sergeant, does it sound like one suspect or many or working in a team? What are you getting from these 5 cases and what the victims have told you about the people on the phone?
We're not sure exactly how many are involved, if it's one, many, or more. The only thing that we want to bring up here right now at this point in the investigation is that this can occur. We want you to be aware that if you're using a landline, that fraudsters are asking you to call the bank or the police and are remaining on the line after you hang up. There is that potential for that person to be on the other line.
Is this a new scam?
Here in Vancouver, this is the first I've heard of it. I am aware of this happening overseas.
Can you tell us a little bit about the age of these seniors or their circumstances? I mean, this is a huge amount of money, so, I mean, there's some vulnerability here, obviously, too.
Yeah, and again, that's why we're here today is for awareness. If you know somebody that may have been the victim of this, or if you are yourself, we want you to call us. It's still under investigation. We are saying that in all 5 cases, the victims were considered elderly.
Okay. Do you have any sense of why these particular victims might have been targeted?
We're still looking at all possibilities, and our investigators are trying to determine exactly how they were chosen or what the link is to each one. It's still an active investigation.
You mentioned that there was some money recovered, but there hasn't been any arrests. So how did that work? Can you tell us more about that?
We were fortunate enough to recover the money, and we were working with some partners overseas to secure some of the funds before they were transferred out. So we have recovered some of that, and no arrests have been made.
Can you give us a sense of where those funds may have been headed? Is there a particular country out there that may be involved in this?
You know, offshore accounts, we're not getting into that because that will form part of the investigation to where they are, but we are saying that they are sent overseas.
So, excuse me, may I know is what kind of language they're using, English or Chinese or?
I believe it was English in all 5 cases.
Any sense about this sort of lag time with the recorded dial tone? You said, you know, use a cell phone or make sure that you're disconnected. Well, how do you make sure you're disconnected? What advice are you giving in terms of how to make that happen, how to make sure?
Well, what I could suggest is that if you hang up your phone or you have a landline, call a friend or a family member that you trust and make sure you get through to them. After you hang up with them, you can be rest assured that your phone will likely be disconnected. Again, try using a cell phone if you're asked to call a bank representative or 911 under these circumstances. Be aware that these are happening.
How are the victims feeling?
You know, we recovered some funds, so we're fortunate enough for that. We're glad that they came forward with this because oftentimes there is a bit of embarrassment involved and sometimes people don't want to report it to us, but we're asking and encouraging anybody, please call us and let us help you.
Are we talking about like life savings though? I mean, people who are going to be in big financial trouble now and have no money to live on?
Well, I can't get into the exact financial state of affairs for the victims, but to an average person, these are very substantial funds.
Give me a sense of when we talk about the phone call and what was said on the phone. Can you just give me a sense again of what this person or persons are saying and sort of some of the language they're using when they first call? Because they're kind of pretending to be the good guys.
Yeah, right off the bat when they first get that initial call, and that's where sort of the hook happens, is they are pretending to be working for a jewelry store or a police department. They're not asking them for any personal information, not asking them for any money. They're pretending to be, you know, telling them to do the right thing. Because there's fraudsters out there, we're asking you to hang the phone up and call 911 or call your credit card or your bank immediately. Don't give us that information. So it's kind of goes down that path where they believe when they pick up the phone again after hearing a dial tone recording that they are speaking to either a police officer or bank representative.
How would you characterize in your own words what these fraudsters are doing? How would you describe that?
I would describe this action as preying on the vulnerable. You know, it doesn't surprise me what fraudsters will do to get money, and it's always changing, and we're doing our best to stay on top of it. And we like to say in any fraud or phone scam like this, awareness is the key. If you're aware that this is happening, we're hopeful that it won't happen to you.
How about the VPD? Did you contact with the tellers? Any way to stop this scam?
Yeah, the technology involved in this, I know our investigators are looking into that angle of it. So we are looking into the technology side of it. I don't have enough information to speak to the technology, but I am able to say in all 5 of these cases, the victims hung up the phone, believe they were disconnected. When they picked the phone back up to call 911, they honestly believe they were speaking to the Vancouver Police or to their bank.
I have an unrelated question.
Me too.
Okay, what we'll do is we'll stop this here because we're streaming live, and I'll come back in a moment and answer unrelated questions. Thank you.